The world of WWE is buzzing with intensity after the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, and the focus of all the headlines is not about titles, championships, or rivalries with outsiders, but about something even more personal and explosive: the unraveling of family ties right before the eyes of millions. Wrestling has always been about storytelling as much as athleticism, and when the stories intertwine with real-life connections and bloodlines, the drama reaches an entirely different level. That is exactly what unfolded when Jey Uso, in a move that shocked fans around the globe, decided to align himself with none other than Roman Reigns, his cousin, his tribal chief, and the figure who has cast a long shadow over the entire family's legacy. The repercussions of that decision did not take long to surface, and what happened backstage last night is already setting the stage for one of the most heated rivalries WWE has ever dared to build. As soon as the camera shifted behind the curtain, Jey Uso wasted absolutely no time in making his feelings crystal clear. His reaction was not that of disappointment alone, but of outrage, of betrayal, and of heartbreak. He looked into the camera with a coldness that sent chills through the arena and beyond, and his words echoed with finality. Jey was not talking as just another competitor cutting a promo. He was speaking as a brother who felt betrayed, as a man who saw the bond of family shattered before his very eyes. His message was short, sharp, and impossible to misinterpret. Jey, by choosing to walk alongside Roman Reigns, had chosen to walk away from his brother. And in doing so, Jey declared, Jey had aligned himself not only with the tribal chief, but against his own blood. Jey reminded Jey of what they had built together over the years in WWE. From their earliest days stepping into the ring as a tag team to the countless victories and titles they had captured, the Usos were more than just brothers. They were a unit, a force, a bond forged by blood and strengthened by years of struggle. Together they had faced down every tag team thrown their way, carving out a legacy that would one day be remembered as one of the greatest in wrestling history. But now, Jey insisted, Jey had thrown all of that away. In Jey's eyes, this was no ordinary decision. It was a betrayal of everything they had stood for, everything they had sacrificed, and everything that made them the Usos. Aligning with Roman was not just about siding with the family's so-called tribal chief. It was about abandoning his own twin, his own flesh and blood, the very person who had stood beside him since birth. And Jey did not leave things at mere words. The warning he delivered was not idle talk. It was a vow, a declaration of war. Jey said that the next time he and Jey crossed paths, it would not be about hugs, unity, or family gatherings. It would not be about the love between brothers that once defined them. It would not be about tag team championships, smiles, and synchronized entrances. It would be about something darker, something that goes beyond the squared circle and into the heart of every fan watching. It would be about war, brother against brother, heart against heart, blood against blood. What makes this moment so powerful is that fans know this is not just another storyline where two wrestlers are paired off against one another for the sake of entertainment. The Bloodline saga has been the most compelling narrative WWE has crafted in years, and at its center is the idea of loyalty. Loyalty to family, loyalty to leadership, and loyalty to self. Roman Reigns built his empire by demanding that loyalty, often through manipulation, intimidation, and dominance. For years, Jey struggled with his place in this family hierarchy. He fought Roman, he defied Roman, but he also stood beside him when the pressures became too much to bear. The push and pull of Jey's loyalty has been a recurring theme, and every decision he makes feels monumental. When he stood by Roman's side this time, it was not just a move in a chess game, it was the breaking point for his brother Jey. The cracks in the bloodline that fans have been speculating about for months have now widened into something more like a canyon. What once seemed like a united front, a dynasty unshakable in its dominance, is beginning to crumble from the inside. And as any wrestling fan knows, when family drama enters the arena, it elevates everything. The emotions are raw, the matches more intense, and the stakes infinitely higher. Jey's words made it clear. For him, this is not about championships or main event slots. This is about betrayal, revenge, and proving once and for all that his brother made the wrong choice. The WWE Universe, ever invested in the Bloodline saga, is now caught in the middle of this unfolding war. Fans are already choosing sides, asking themselves the question Jimmy himself posed without even needing to say it outright. Are you with Jimmy or are you with Jey? It is a question that divides the fan base just as deeply as it has divided the brothers themselves. Some argue that Jey's decision makes sense. After all, Roman is the tribal chief, the dominant figure who has carried the championship for an era-defining reign, and aligning with him keeps Jey in a position of power. Others feel Jey's move is unforgivable, an abandonment of the twin brother who stood by him through every battle. The debates rage on social media, in arenas, and among fans who have followed this family's journey for years. But as much as the WWE Universe speculates, one thing is undeniable. This story is far from over. In fact, it is only just beginning. Jimmy's vow has set the tone for what is to come, and it promises to be nothing short of explosive. The next encounter between the brothers, whether in a backstage confrontation, a heated promo, or a full-scale showdown inside the ring, will not just be another moment in WWE programming, it will be history in the making. Fans know it, the wrestlers know it, and even the commentators will frame it as one of the most emotional battles in recent memory. What makes this saga even more fascinating is the unpredictability. WWE has many possible directions to take this story, and each path could be equally captivating. Will Jimmy and Jey settle their differences in a one-on-one match, giving fans the deeply personal brother-against-brother rivalry they have long anticipated? Will Roman Reigns play a more active role, manipulating both brothers into fighting one another while he maintains his dominance at the top? Could other members of the family, or even outsiders, get involved and complicate the already fragile dynamics within the bloodline? Every possible twist adds another layer of excitement, and fans are glued to their screens waiting to see how it unfolds. The sheer depth of history between Jimmy and Jey is what makes this feud so compelling. Unlike two superstars thrown together into a program, their story stretches back decades, long before WWE, long before championships, long before the bright lights of WrestleMania. They are twins, born together, raised together, trained together, and celebrated together. Their entire wrestling journey has been one shared experience, from performing in front of small crowds to headlining some of the biggest shows on the planet. That history cannot be fabricated, and it cannot be ignored. When they step into the ring against each other, it will carry a weight unlike any other rivalry. Every punch, every slam, every